how did you handle public life? Did you ever tell yourself, like, I'm not a public figure, or did you tell yourself you were a public figure? Could you ever step away from it, or was it always so inundating that you had no ability? What was it for you?
I mean, I think part of moving to Idaho, which was really to kind of ground and keep life more simple and to keep a perspective of, and maybe even create some separation between the two, but keeping your perspective of what's important and that who you really are has nothing to do with that.
Yes.
Who you really are.
Did you have that with you along the way? Did you then want to claim it and grab it? Like, I started so young, and so did you in so many ways. But being with you on Charlie's Angels was another level for me of a door being opened of how crazy the attention was. And is it true that your daughters, Tallulah, Scout, Rumor, discussed, like, going out in a bikini? Like, did you talk about it?
I mean, they were, I had taken a break only to be with them.
Which I did too. I stopped when I had kids.
I stopped and was just with them until they finally were like, you have to do this movie. We loved the first one. You have to do this movie. And please, aren't you going to ever work again?
Which is, I think, for me, is a telltale sign of I wanted to get to the place where my kids were like, you can go back out there
and do your thing.
And I waited until I got that green light from them. I really did.
Think there was a part where I realized that being with them, it was never a question. I needed to be with them. My life was going through a transition with my marriage, and that they needed me home. There's also a part where I realized that when you are a working parent, because I don't want to just say moms, but in particular for a mom, you're always juggling, and something is always getting slightly cheated. And at that moment, I just knew that I couldn't I couldn't make them anything less than the ultimate priority. And that having a stable existence where our day was getting ready for school, driving them to school, working in the classroom, picking them up, and doing that was going to be the most important gift that I could give them. Like, I personally didn't feel like I could negotiate both. Like, I tried doing one film where I was leaving before they were awake, getting home when they were asleep, and feeling like nothing, like my work wasn't getting the best of me, my children weren't getting the best of me, and I was nowhere in the equation.
Yes.
And I just said, this is not healthy for anybody.
Yes. And this is what working parents all go through, the juggle, and it doesn't feel like you're doing well anywhere. And it's really difficult. I think what we're doing to ourselves in that time is total criticizing and feeling like a failure and just not good anywhere you go. And it's such a relatable feeling. And when I would connect with other people, because I did feel so isolated and alone, it's so good to connect with other people.
And I have to say, I loved just being Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah's mom. Like, I loved that. I love just being, like, and working in the classroom, going on the field trips. I loved that.
It's my favorite thing in the world. Also, it's the childhood I never experienced that I've wanted so badly for my own children to experience, was a paced out situation. So here we carbon copy again with our upbringing.
Yes. And I accept that my parents did the best they could. My mom did the best she could with the level of consciousness and awareness that she had at the time.
Yes.
But we were both more the
parent.
Mother, the parent to our parent.
A straight up adult.
And so the weight of that, which is, I mean, both of our parents let us take the car without driver's license.
At 13?
Yes. Driving on the freeway. I mean, my parents would say, okay, here's the deal. You can take the car. If you get stopped, you just have to say you took the car without permission. And they kind of saw that as a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
But that is lunacy.
It is, and I think it's really interesting when you I did not take any anger or resentment into my own being a parent. I took oh my God, I have so much pressure on myself not to screw this up. How am I ever going to meet these standards? And what do I do? What do I do? When people go, well, you know boundaries. No, I don't. Have you seen my life? No, I don't know boundaries.
No, boundaries.
What are they?
Discipline.
No, routine.
Schedule.
What?
No, that was non-existent. But to that point, it's that I don't think my mother came into this world with the intention to be less than nurturing, to be neglectful, to not really be able to show up as a parent for me. I think she came in with the innocence of a soul that wanted to find happiness, to feel love, and to belong. And when I look and find the compassion for my mother, I know that in that, I then open the pathway for my children to have compassion for me.
Yes. And that is why I say to my mom, I love you, because the hard, weird, crazy choices you made led me to here. So thank
100%.
you.
It's so true.
Hi.
Oh, look who's here.
Dougie.
I love this. Come.
When you had the opportunity to have closure and healing with your mom, why did you take it?
There was something I had somewhat of an estranged relationship at the point that I heard that my mother had cancer and was dying. First of all, the nature of our relationship, I didn't trust it. I thought it was maybe a scam, which is already like a weird thing to experience with. And so when when I got the call, there was an intuition, an instinct that said, you need to go and be there. And I had already gotten to a place where I didn't have anger towards her. I really was in a certain level of acceptance, even though there was still more healing that needed to be done. And it was the greatest gift. I went and ended up taking care of her for the last 3.5 months of her life. She never really apologized. She never was able to get to that place even within herself. But what she did say is, I wish it could have been different, which told me that she knew that not everything was okay. And that was enough. Yeah. That was it. And I didn't expect it. So it was a beautiful gift. And we, at the very end, we threw birthday parties for her every week. There was a lot of humor. And so I feel like I walked away with more of her than I had when I went in.
And you were different. And I think that knowing that you had that made me feel so whole, because I'm getting to do that with my mom in real time, and I got to do it with my dad. And he never apologized, but he said, he looked at my feet and he said, you are made perfectly. That was...
My God, that's like...
That was as much as
that's beautiful.
He could convey at that
really
point.
Beautiful.
And I hold that moment so sacrosanct. And I know that if I had held on to stubborn resentments and denied myself these whole filling, healing experiences, that would have been regrettable for me personally.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, hold that thought, because we have so much more with Demi Moore when we come back, including you're a grandmother now, the sexiest grandmother I've ever seen, and I want to check in on the family. We'll be right back.